And we're live. It's Whiskey Watches and Wheels, and the boys are back in town together once again. Fellas, how we doing?
Good.
Doing
Good.
well.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
All
Kevin,
right.
by the way. I
Yeah,
just want to be the
exactly.
first
Kevin?
person.
Instead of Casey. And
All
I'm
right.
James.
So I'm Matt. That's James.
I'm Casey.
And there's Casey. All right. So how's everyone doing this week?
Oh, peachy.
Yeah.
No, it's been
Short
a weird
week.
ass week. The Matrix needs a reboot.
Oh, no shit. Yeah, we
the
talked
world
about
is
that.
kind of fucked up, or at least it seems that there's something weird in everyone's life right now, and it's I don't like it. I want to go back to not knowing anything before the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly. I've been fortunate. Not a whole lot going weird in my life, other than my daughter flying out to Texas for some boy. That's a whole other thing. So, I'm not gonna
Is
get
it his
involved in
birthday?
that, but, huh?
Is it his birthday?
It's not his birthday.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's not his birthday. Although, listen, okay. Yesterday, you're gonna love this. And I purposely didn't say anything yesterday because
here it
I didn't
is.
want anyone to bust my balls.
Mhm.
So I'm spending yesterday with my dear friend Kevin. Yesterday, go down to a shop, check it out. You know, we literally live an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes from each other, and I've never been to
That's
his
me, by the
place of
way,
business.
guys. That's
That's
Kevin.
that guy. Yeah,
That's Kevin.
that Kevin. So I went down, amazing shop, very impressive for what he's built for himself. I was not only proud for him, but
Referring
proud
to
to know him.
Asphalt Killers, yeah.
Referring to Asphalt Killers and
Yeah.
his other business,
And the Ruck Shop.
the Ruck Shop. All
I mean,
of it.
that's a lot bigger.
Yeah. And so we're chilling. We went to lunch. We were going to do some Arby's, and the AC was broken, and there was a lady that didn't know how to order Arby's, so we said fuck that, and we went to and got the Jesus chicken, got the Lord's chicken.
Oh, the Lord.
But last night when I got home, it was
The
my
Lord's
brother-in-law.
chicken came
It was my
back to
brother-in-law's
haunt you.
birthday, so we went to dinner at Longhorns, and so the entire time I'm thinking to myself, I can't tell Kevin that I'm going to dinner tonight for my fucking brother-in-law's birthday.
No
'cause
wonder
I'll
why
never
you
hear
had to
that
leave
fucking
so
dinner.
early. Thank goodness. And if Savannah would have heard that too,
Oh, yeah.
man.
So I'm like, I can't say shit. I gotta keep that under the hat.
Well,
So-
first off, it was another fucking birthday. But secondly, you went to Longhorns?
No, they went to what's the other one? Texas Roadhouse.
Even just as bad.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Just as bad.
Well, it is just as bad because they serve you a shit ton of like rolls and butter up front, which I'm not
That's
eating
right.
that garbage, right? And then you get all this other, so as everyone's eating their damn, big ass steaks and potatoes and all this other bullshit, I got a damn salad, I'm eating like a bird. And then they bring out my sister-in-law had gotten one of those damn Carvel ice cream cakes, so they're all gorging on ice
Fudgy
cream
the
cake.
whale?
I'm just sitting there staring at them, but that's all right. I have a goal, and I'm almost there.
There you go. I love it.
Yeah.
Although I don't love Texas Roadhouse, and whoever chose that should be ashamed of themselves.
Just go where I'm told to drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was my yesterday. Yeah, I was very impressed with Kevin's shop down there. Very cool to see the process and what goes on there. So it was awesome. But yes, there is a glitch in the Matrix, and there's a lot of weird shit going on in y'all's lives. So
Yeah, I don't know that I want to delve into it yet.
No, we're not
It's
going to.
Really,
No.
Yeah, it's not really
That's
public,
personal
but
shit.
it is just
No.
it is just tragic accidents, and it sucks. And people you love,
Yeah.
you got to keep them close because shit happens, man.
Yep, no joke. Well, I'm on vacation this week, so I've just been fucking chilling out. I haven't really done much of nothing this week,
It's not what I thought you were saying.
other than stay up late and sleep in.
Well, sleeping in meaning like 7:15 or something.
Something like that. I think today was 7:30.
Good.
But hey, I realized I texted y'all last night in our group chat, and it was like 1:30 in the morning. I'm thinking, oh fuck, they're all sleeping. But
I was up.
were you up?
All right, what's first on the agenda tonight?
Well, I guess we can talk about Ford losing their ever fucking loving mind.
Let's go.
On a couple different fronts. Well, actually, I'll give them kudos in one camp, and I'll give them the fact they're losing their mind in another. So there was one article in the news just recently where they said, you know what, maybe we should have thought better about this EV thing. And so they've scaled back EV production once again to make more big-ass trucks. Sorry, James.
Let's go.
But James is the big truck lover. We know that. But yeah, so they've scaled that back, which I agree with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there was an article in news here where it says Ford patents a system for in-vehicle advertisements. And basically it's saying that love them or hate them, advertising ruins the internet. It's an imperfect and complex system of counting clicks and impressions. Ford has filed a new patent that could bring and enhance the world, that wonderful experience to your car.
Enhance in air quotes.
And so basically, the technology from what I get from this article is that it's just like your phone, going to always be listening. And it'll know where you are via GPS and everything because we're all connected. And then all of a sudden you might be, sitting there minding your own business and an advertisement for, Chick-fil-A pops up because there's a Chick-fil-A a mile down the road.
It already does that.
Yeah,
it already does that in Google Maps. It already does that in Waze. All the other shit.
Right.
Here's the thing is so maybe Ford and BMW get together so that you can watch an ad so that you can turn on the heated seats.
Yeah. It says Ford Motor Company's patent shows a system that uses destination, route, speed, travel, history, location, traffic, and more to determine the type of ads to show you and how many to display on the vehicle's various screens.
But all that is, man,
and I'm
it's
sure
just literally their own maps thing. They're put it into their DVD or their navigation system. It's nothing that who uses their DVD or their DVD. Fuck, I'm getting old. Their navigation. We all use Waze and Google Maps anyway.
Yeah, but
because of traffic.
If you think about it, how is that going to get through, right? If all of these cars have DVD players, but you can't watch a DVD when the car is moving, how is it that you can watch a commercial?
Good point.
That is a good point, but my understanding from the article is it would just be auditory.
Just pop up.
Yeah, but I say
the gas pump.
Yeah, I say fuck this. I enjoy that Ford is on one side saying that EVs suck and we need to produce vehicles that people want to buy. So they're going to produce the hell out of the F-150 and whatever other truck variation that they produce. But this ad thing is completely asinine. And while Kevin, I think you're right in that nobody uses the navigation, but what about if, like you said, if BMW is going to make you subscribe to get seat heaters, why cannot Ford do something similar to get the same features in their car?
It's just going to be a revenue stream for like we just talked about, though. I mean, Google does it, and so does Waze app. So they're just going to put it into this. Toyota has.
I'm sure
if
your
it's
contract
auditory,
when you buy it, I'm sure you are opted into it automatically when you sign up to buy this piece of shit.
Correct, and you'll be given
and
the
then
offer.
You're going to have to go 20 levels deep to sign out.
No, I just think it's going to be part of the navigation system, but which nobody uses anyways. Well, I know I don't use my Porsche one. I don't use my Toyota one. I use Waze, and I don't think it's gonna pop up when you're listening to the radio. I literally think it's gonna be in the navigation, and whoever decides, the salespeople for that company is gonna be like, hey, now it's on all Ford dealers, and the smucks that buy it or that advertise for that, Chick-fil-A or whoever. I'm not calling them smucks, but.
So it says the automaker will assess how users interact with the ads, which could include acoustic data like monitoring in-car conversations.
So that's what's getting me
to help it understand the user's tolerance for a particular advertisement count.
And so it says when it's quiet, they could pipe in an ad, and that would infuriate me. While I'm sitting there trying to relax, coming home from work or have a quiet conversation or whatever. These are things that we know these companies claim that they don't keep, right? They're just listening for keywords to pipe in advertisements. But now we have the big Google lawsuit currently about the incognito mode that actually did track your whereabouts or your search history. So we know that these companies cannot be trusted 100% to keep the data to themselves and keep it, not keep the history per your IP address or whatever. And so I think it's just completely bullshit. And if there's a way to opt out of it, great. I don't believe it because we know even Apple has had these issues prior where they say it's not listening, but still it's tracking. You can even check your router and see the data streaming from your devices. So I think that it's completely bogus, and why I will continue to buy older cars.
Well, the other thing is, it's one thing if I'm going to buy a $50,000 Ford and then I can get ads and it costs me $30,000, right? Right. Isn't it just like subscribing to Hulu with ads? or you go up the next level without ads. I just think that everything in our economy is an ad, period, right? So
well, what's going to happen is
we're selling everything.
You're going to go through. You're not going to be able to opt out of it. It'll track the information, but you will be able to opt out of the actual ads. You're not going to save on the car. You're going to pay $50,000. I can opt out
very easily.
Yeah, just not buy it
because there's zero chance. There's absolutely zero chance of me ever buying a Ford.
Well, they're going to go through and they're going to say, hey, this $50,000 vehicle. Well, let's face facts. It's big ass trucks. So this $90,000 truck is going to pump in ads that you don't want. But good news, for $299 a year subscription, you can get that turned off.
Yeah, and I agree that could be an easy way to get that $300. But James, you shouldn't say you should never buy a Ford, because there is this car called the Ford GT, which is a pretty badass car. And perhaps it comes back down to normal person prices at some point.
It's out of my budget. It's out of my budget.
The crowd killer?
You can call it.
No, not a Mustang GT, the actual Ford GT.
Ford GT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ford GT.
Okay.
The crowd killer. Yes.
The Mustang GT. Yeah, I wanted to hear what James thought on this too, because I had a thought in my head, but it kicked out. But here's something you guys should look at. And a lot of people should look at it too. All of our 200 or 100 subscribers. Go on Instagram. Go 4 deep. Every fourth ad, every fourth scroll is an ad, whether you're realizing or not. Right. And our minds are just like, but it's just, that's an ad, that's an ad, that's an ad. I mean, I'm always saying big ass titties, and this okay. And you look at my little hourglass or microphone, and you click on that, as big ass titties and guns and watches. I mean, so.
And I will say that the one, at least in my experience, that's become the worst, and I hate to say that I'm even on it, but I am. But Facebook.
Yeah.
You can scroll through Facebook, and I don't see a single real person on there at all. I have to go into the sub settings, go to feeds, and go to friends only just to see people, real life people doing things. And that's just a reflection of, I guess, me, but it's a stupid program. I hate the constant ads, and I will not buy a Ford in which it's piping in a McDonald's ad while I'm trying to relax.
But we all say that. But look, we all use Instagram. We all use Facebook. Yeah. We all use, not all of us, because I don't use it, but TikTok and
no,
I know I don't use it neither. So remember,
Casey's Grinder, is that the one?
Yeah. We don't speak of that in public.
We all are in our 40s. So the other thing is this may not. Well, you look 40-ish.
Okay. Yes.
So we're all above 40. I think they're gearing this all to the younger crowd, and I think they're going to be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure."
It's just normal.
Yeah, I know, but younger folks, they certainly know when they're being sold to. They're not stupid.
You're right, James. But the other thing too is that being the same, they're also going to be like, "Oh, $299? Nah, I don't want to pay that. I'll just deal with it." And they're just deal with it.
Well, I know that, as I said, everything is a squeeze for the ad dollar, and YouTube essentially is no longer free, even though it's free, because you have to jump through so many hoops to actually watch a video at this point, be it you start to watch it and then it jumps up and says, hey, sign up, or then it jumps up, or hey, grab the TV, or it jumps up and says, sign into your account. All of that stuff just to annoy the shit out of you in order for you to pay. Right. So YouTube, the regular YouTube, not YouTube TV, 2 years ago, it was less than $10, and now it's like $18, like $18 a month
for YouTube Red, or I don't know.
Just YouTube, regular YouTube without ads. We're not talking YouTube TV, just YouTube.
And I'm a YouTube consumer. Like I literally, I pay. We cut the cord freaking 15 years ago, and then
cut the cord when for cable.
Yeah, for cable. But then we went through, and because of my kids and all this stuff that Stacy and the kids consume, I spend probably more now on subscriptions than I ever did when I had cable. I mean, because we have them all. We have the fucking
that's a fact.
Peacock and Paramount and HBO and
then
Hulu.
Now, next, there's going to be this company that comes around and says, "Hey, watch this. I'll consolidate all this into one thing.
Right.
We're going to call it KCTV.
There you go.
You can get it all in one service."
Right. So my point is, up until now, I told Stacey and the kids that I could cancel all that shit and I would be fine because I consume 90% of my content on YouTube.
Yeah.
And what James is talking about, it drives me crazy because when it was a 10-second ad or 20-second ad, but you could skip it after 5 seconds or whatever, I didn't really care. Even if it did it 5 or 6 times in a video, it didn't really bother me that much. But fuck, now the ads are like a minute and 30.
But you can skip, but it skips to the next ad, not to what you were watching.
You're fucked.
So they just keep leveling up the ads. It's crazy. But, just looking over here, if you want YouTube Premium, it's $14 a month, right? Or $140 a year. But if you want the family, it's $23 a month. It's just like, that's more than Netflix.
Yeah.
Right. And I know. I just got rid of my Hulu. It was $79. I remember.
Fuck Hulu.
I remember when cable was that much, and I told my wife, "Wait, we're paying $79 for Hulu with no commercials, but why are we seeing commercials?" And she's like, "Yeah, well, that's only on certain things. So all the new stuff you still see commercials." And she said, "Well, we have Disney Plus and we have HBO," and so I canceled it all. I'm like, "Hey,
yeah,
well, I'll tell you how stupid I am. Admittedly, I like YouTube TV." And the fact that it's wireless, right? I can carry my TV out to the back porch. I can watch football games out on the back porch wireless, right? Well, my wife has all these shows that she enjoys watching, all this trash TV that she can't find on YouTube TV or something. There's some excuse. And so I pay for both. I've got Verizon Fios and I have YouTube TV simply because I want to watch it outside.
Plus internet to get it.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah,
we're all screwed. All right, next.
Just where's my money?
What else are we going to complain about? The over 40 crowd.
This is not going to be a complaint. So I have always mother fudger. I just closed the article. Talk amongst yourselves for a second.
Well, that was interesting, mother.
Well, no, because I wanted to talk about. I have always, forever loved Aston Martin. They don't run great. But
I think they run great.
They look great.
They look great.
So I saw a meme the other day, and it was literally 2 Aston Martin drivers. One had a brand new DB9, and one had a vintage car. And so they're both sitting at a Cars and Coffee, staring at their cars. And the one guy's looking at the one guy, and he goes, why don't you drive this very much? He goes, depreciation. And then he looks at the other one, looks at it, and he goes, why don't you drive yours? He goes, it's 30 years old. And so they're both afraid to drive their car. They make the most beautiful cars in the world. But in the world of all the EV nonsense.
That was a Matt's opinion, by the way.
Yes, and that's fine.
I think
they do make
shared
a good
by
car.
Many.
That's okay.
It's a good-looking car.
It is a good-looking car. In the world
their
of
SUV
the EV
is
madness,
good-looking as well.
Right.
I really like that.
They're like, fuck it. And so they're coming out with the replacement for the Vanquish. And in true honorable fashion, they're putting a V12 in it. So no.
I love this car. I think the styling on it is fantastic. I think that their interiors have always looked pretty good, in my opinion. I don't know the quality of them because I've never really sat in one. But I do think they look good. The styling is perfect. I love the engine. And I think it'd be a really fun car to drive. I do know that the maintenance on them is a bitch.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's just like all the other ones.
Wait,
to me.
that looks like a Camaro in the back.
No, stop it.
And then
it
does. It looks like an Aston Martin in the front. So
that does not look like a
and now
Camaro
it looks like a Volvo from the back.
No, it looks like a Supra from the back, I think.
They all look alike.
And that's fine. I think they're beautiful. I don't care if y'all think.
I think it's a great looking car. And I've thought about buying one of the older ones that are like 30 grand. I think you can get a cool GT style car with a V12 in it.
Change the alternator. The whole motor's got to come out to change the alternator.
I know. That's a problem.
So Stacy, my wife, which you guys know well, is not a car person. but she
No,
loves
she's
Aston
not?
Martin. No, she's not.
She's not
but
a
she
top
loves
person?
Aston Martin. I mean, she
They're
loves
sharp.
the DB9.
Put her ass in a DB9 then.
Yeah. So we were at. There's a place in Orlando called the Orlando Auto Museum. It's at a place called Deezerland. Guy's got a massive car collection, and they have a whole section for 007 cars. And she saw a DB9 there.
That's cool.
And she goes, I don't know what that is, but it's gorgeous. And you can, like you said, you can get a mid 2000s for 40 grand.
Yeah.
They're not bad, but it's ridiculous to if it breaks, fuck it. It's going to be expensive. So I told her, I said, if you want something like that, we'll get you a freaking Jag F type. At least I can't see it.
What car out there is cheap to fix? At this point, everything is so computerized.
I know.
That you're paying for an hour just for them to take the plastic off the motor.
James, and I hear that all the time. And I don't necessarily disagree. I do think that if you can tolerate or learn watching YouTube how to work on your own car, I do think these things are reasonable to fix. Here I have a 2008 Cayenne Turbo with 261,000 miles on it now. I do all the work myself, but it's not.
That's cool.
Really expensive to work on.
But the basic stuff that you're doing, right? Like you're doing the brakes and things like that, right?
I've done the whole suspension.
Okay.
I've done the whole suspension. That was, again, in parts, it was close to $3,500. So you do that at the dealer or an Indy, it's going to be an $7,500. Yeah. I agree with that. But if you can learn to turn a wrench, because this stuff is not hard, it's sometimes physically taxing, but it's not like you need calculus to do it. I think these things are reasonable to keep on the road. The Germans over-engineer this stuff, and now that I replaced that stuff, it's good for another nearly 200,000 miles.
Sure.
So
yeah, but could you say the same thing with a 2024 Cayenne?
2024, I don't know, but I have Ashley's 2014, and I do the same with hers.
Okay.
So maybe not. Maybe that'll be my next one. I parked next to a new Land Cruiser yesterday. It's really good looking. Yeah. But that's a little inline four turbo engine. But I just think that you can. The knowledge is out there. You can tackle this stuff if you just take the time to do it. And I'm a big proponent of fixing these things yourself. It's not really that hard.
Well, to your point, once you got into early to mid 2000s, especially with Aston, once they got rid of all the Lucas electronics and stuff, it got more reliable. I'm not going to say it's extremely reliable, more reliable than it was with all the Lucas electronics bullshit. So,
yeah.
But this car here, it is big ass,
heavy as fuck.
Yes, 5.2 liter twin turbo V12, making 824 horsepower. Going to have a top speed of 214 miles an hour. It is going to be 738 foot-pounds of torque, and it's going to be $420,000.
Woohoo! Light them up.
Well, so again, we're connoisseurs. You don't spend $420 on it. You let some other rich asshole spend $420 on it, and you buy it 10 years down the road at $240. Yeah. So, but I just give them credit for where all these companies are going in and putting in, hybrid V8s, or they're not even doing V10s anymore. They're doing V8s and hybrid technology and electric motors to make it just a massive twin turbo V12 in 2025 is kind of unheard of.
I do like the middle finger to the greenies. Making a V12. Is anyone else doing that? Is Lamborghini's moved on to V8s? Yeah. Ferrari's moved on. So I don't know of any of those off the top of my head. I don't know what Bugatti's doing. But anyhow, having a V12 still out there is freaking awesome.
Yep.
Who owns them? Who owns Aston?
They're still themselves, I believe. I don't think anyone.
Yeah, the guy in F1.
Okay, Aston Martin Lagonda Group Limited. Right. All right.
The guy whose son is driving.
Billionaire Lawrence Stroll.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So my wife always makes fun of the driver because he's got like a big unibrow.
Unibrow.
All that money and still can't.
$1 billion unibrow.
Yeah.
Yep. James threw this up, and I found it
Tossed it
perfect
up,
because,
not threw it up.
well, in our group chat, and going back to big ass Ford trucks. So James put up a picture the other day when he was driving with that covered bridge, and I said, "Oh, that bridge is cool." Well, here's another covered bridge, not the same one, but a big ass Ford F750 decided to go through and plunge right through this damn covered bridge.
The fuck is a 750? Is that a semi truck?
No,
Kevin, do you know?
Yeah,
It's got to be big, man.
Yeah.
It looks like a dump truck. It's basically a dump truck with a small bed on the back.
Fucking hell.
I was trying to see if it had a picture of it in the article,
bridges,
but it doesn't.
I'm sure everybody knows about the historic main bridges up there, and I've seen just a couple last summer, the summer before, whenever I was up there. They're really cool, and they're old as hell, and I do think they need to be protected somewhat. But what Nimrod would find it appropriate to drive that big ass truck?
It probably says right there in that big yellow sign the weight.
It does.
The weight,
height.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sure,
But
yeah.
like everybody else, nobody fucking reads these days.
He probably couldn't read. It's fine.
They're probably on there looking at their Waze app at ads. And
I'm trying to see. So
Bojangles 1 mile ahead.
exactly.
All right.
Now, those guys, they pay a lot of money for those Waze apps because I get those.
The driver behind the wheel of the F750 thought he could make it, but alas, those trucks can be over 9,000 pounds empty. The gross vehicle weight can be between 26,000 and 37,000 pounds.
And the weight limit was 3 tons. The bridge was 3 tons.
Unbelievable. So. That guy, someone should hang him up and beat the shit out of him. I mean, that.
Yeah, it's
well,
sad.
if you read the comments, man, if you read the comments on Instagram, it's pretty brutal about Americans, I'll tell you that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Go figure.
Light them up.
Go figure.
So, yeah. I don't know. These trucks just keep getting bigger and bigger. Not to be a part of James's bandwagon, but they are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Man, you guys are gonna fucking hate me. What? Not you guys. James is gonna hate me when he sees my next vehicle purchase.
No, you're gonna. I know that you use it. I know that you use it. Like I said, 70% of those beds are empty at the Harris Teeter. So,
well, to defend James for a minute, James is not anti-truck. He's anti-truck going to the grocery store.
Yes.
or
Absolutely.
Listen, we've said this before. I drive a big ass Dodge Ram. I don't use it for truck stuff. It's a part of my package with the company I work for, but I don't use it for truck stuff.
Yeah,
maybe
you're going to be getting a trailer and towing it, Kevin. So you get a pass.
Yeah, I get that. That makes 100% sense, and it's not going to be your daily. So,
right.
But you know what? You could probably daily is for Matt here is like a wide body 914.
Yeah, I want that bad. That's freaking dude.
You should stop talking about it and be about it.
So there was some chatter about you getting another motorcycle or something, and now you're talking about maybe you should take that money and put it towards a little sporty thing.
Yeah.
You
should do it.
Well, so
absolutely.
I want
we want you around.
Yes,
and at least you'd be seen in this.
I don't know.
Car.
You know how fucking low those things are?
Yeah, I know they are.
Yeah.
They are.
So Stacy and I had
a little bit more protection, that's for sure.
Stacy and I had a very spirited discussion about an additional motorcycle. And
so now, hold on.
Yeah.
Now the truth comes out why this picture came out.
Was this at a birthday party?
Stacy said no.
No, actually, I'll give Kevin credit on this. So in our little group chat, Kevin said, listen, do what you want. Do you. I'm paraphrasing, but basically, you should take the money and put it towards a 914 or something else that you want. And after my spirited conversation, I actually took that to heart because
No, I agree with that though. I think that you've been, at least to us, you've been talking about 914 longer than you've been talking about a two-wheeler.
Yeah.
And something like this, man, would be totally unique, totally yours. You can do the engine stuff that you want to do. You can make it look the way you want it to look, and it would be something different and cool.
Tell me that's not a Matt car. I mean, that says Matt.
I know that there's a lot of the Porsche community that's not like the 914s, and I don't know what it is about them. I guess just because I'm that guy. I'm the one who was looking for something different.
I don't think not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I think that
Not
used
anymore.
to be the poor man's Porsche back in the 90s, but
right.
these days now it's such an old car. It's a classic. So, I mean, hell, they did what was it, 2 years ago, James, when they did the 914 for
Yes,
Works
Reunion? At Works Reunion. Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
And they were all like,
people loved them.
Yeah.
And nothing against James's 912 because it's fucking sweet and I love it. But if I'm going to have a 4-cylinder, Porsche, I want something that like the 914, that just speaks to me more than a 912. You look at a 912 and you're like, oh, that's a 911, but with a 4-cylinder motor in it. I
can't tell you the last time I've seen a 914 in person. There's never one at my Cars and Coffee. Right. But there's always a 60s vintage 911, right? And so I do think, and I do think that these 914s were shit on for so long. Most of them have rusted out and been thrown away in the field. Yep. And to find one or to restore one back to what this one looks like is pretty fucking badass.
Well, and that's the thing. You can get them. I'm sitting at the airport waiting to pick up my daughter last night. So I'm just on the forums looking and everything. And you can get really, really nice ones for like 25 to 30.
Dude, you're making me want one.
Right, 25 to 30. But you don't want to go hack up a nice one, So if I'm going to leave it narrow body, then okay, you get a nice one and you drive it.
If we do one of
on
these,
a rally,
are we invited to the air-cooled rallies?
Yeah, unless it's a torsion bar.
Yeah. So, but there's a guy here actually in the local area over in Hollywood, Florida, selling a purple one, Ambergene. It's like $15,000. Runs, drives. I'm sure it needs work, but I mean, it runs and drives and it looks great. And so, they're very affordable.
And man, in the grand scheme of things, on that family money you got, like that seems like it's just pocket change.
My last name's not McCoon.
I'm just sitting here quiet.
Speaking of something that costs too much, the new Honda Civic Type R, way too much.
I disagree.
I don't know.
I don't disagree.
My daughter's wanted one, and I mean, that car ran, I think, a second slower than the 991.1 in the Nürburgring.
It's a badass car. Don't get me wrong.
It's a badass car.
It's a badass car.
For that amount of money, and I know it's a Honda, and we're talking but we have a friend that has one, and he loves it. I just talked to Albert about that car, and he's like, I love this car. And that
Albert has one?
Yeah, and that's his daily. And he's like, I love this car. I drive this car. I mean, this guy's got every Porsche. I don't know how many Porsches he has, but I mean, he trades them like I change my underwear. But man, he's got.
So once every 2 years.
Okay, and so here I quickly did a search for Honda Type R versus 911 around Nuremberg, and there's a website. Yeah, it's called fastestlaps.com. This would be when the Type R was 36K and the 911 GT3 RS was 196. So I would say that this is a couple years old at least.
So the one I saw, it was actually the 911 GT3 991.1 versus, so when they first came out, and it was and I'm going to be 100% honest with you, it was the Type R Euro version. And I think it was the second slower.
Okay. Yeah. So again, this
what does
doing
it say,
this
though?
on the fly, but it says Nuremberg GP Sprint. I don't know how this is
smaller version of the Nürburgring.
Yeah, because isn't that like 7.5 minutes, the full ring, something like that?
Get to the times. Come on.
Okay. The Sprint Honda 146.90, 911 135.
So that's 10 seconds.
That's 11 seconds, almost 12 seconds on the Sprint. But again, I don't know when this was, and I don't know what the Nuremberg Sprint is, honestly.
Yeah.
But around like Hockenheim, 204 versus 150. Monza, 215 versus 202. What's another track we would know? None. But anyhow, I don't doubt that it's a cool car or a fast car with a proper driver. I have a hard time with the fact that it's a Honda Civic and you see 47 of them on your way to work.
But you know what?
Well,
Here's the
if
thing,
the
though.
average price of a new car is 47 and this is coming in at 50, 52.
Then that would be a hell of a lot of car for the price, right?
Right.
So it's starting at like 46.9, somewhere around there. I figure by the time you put a few options on, it's going to be close to 50 grand. But playing devil's advocate, and I know I was the one initially saying that this is too much money, but a 2024 Volkswagen Golf R is 47,536, and they're very similar vehicles. I mean, so they're all that. They're all. I mean, here's 47,536, 47,240, 48,446. So that's the going rate for a hot hatch.
So what are the other options? Right, you have what's the other hot?
You don't really. You have the Golf R.
Isn't there? Okay.
And that's it. I mean, because there's
a Hyundai, right? Isn't there a Hyundai?
They killed it. Yeah.
So
you have
the only hot
Elantra.
hatches. Okay, the only other hot hatches we have is the Type R and the Volkswagen.
That's all that I can think of because
hold on. What's the Ford Fiesta? Is that gone?
That's gone.
Not
okay. In the United States, across the pond, the Fiesta, all those are still available. Ford still makes
Subaru.
those.
Does Subaru have one?
No, the WRX is a sedan.
Okay, I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
Does Nissan have one? A hatch of some sort?
No.
I'm sorry, but this car is hard, in my opinion, hardly a hatch.
Right. Well, would you call a Mini Cooper? Would you call a Mini Cooper a hot hatch?
I would. Just it's a 4-door.
Because it literally has a hatch.
Yeah, if you got John Cooper's Works version.
There's the Mazda. Mazda's got a hot hatch with. Right, so the Volkswagen,
Lexus,
Golf R.
You can't really compare the Mazda hatch. It's got a 2-liter turbo, but that's not
okay.
You know,
so
we're talking for the masses around town, you can.
Yeah. The Mercedes-Benz AMG GLA 35, little hot hatch.
Right.
Yeah.
You never see those.
No.
Right, the Kona N from Hyundai.
Yep.
Right,
and you do have the Elantra N, but it's not a hatch. It's a sedan.
And somehow they're talking about the Chevy Bolt being a hot hatch. I'm going to pass on that.
I think the term hatch has really been morphed and changed.
Sure.
And I think
is a Macan a hot hatch at this point?
Right.
You look at they have the Ioniq, right? So
yes, to me that's a hot hatch, right? But that's technically
similar size,
a mini SUV, isn't it?
Yeah,
right?
that's a similar size as a Macan.
Yeah.
So have the lines blurred on what a hot hatch is?
Yes.
Sure looks like it.
I don't see a hatchback as a 4-door car at all, really.
Oh,
I
here's
see it
an
more as
interesting one.
A Golf.
Is the Toyota GR Corolla. Those are cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That is a hot hatch. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's got like ground effects on it and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the GR Corolla, but I mean, I think how much is the GR Corolla? I think that's let's see here, new prices.
So I know we were talking about the price of the car, but James, you brought up a point offline. What's the average cost of a car these days?
47,000. That Toyota starts at 36.5. Matt.
Yeah, but the Circuit Edition, which would be equivalent to the
I think that's fair. Yeah.
R, is 45,140.
Yeah. So right
and
in
also
the same
to the
ballpark.
Type R, there's no that is the top of the line.
Mm-hmm.
You're not adding options. You're getting Mugen seats. You're getting everything on it. You're not. Let me get.
It's typically like a sunroof. Do you want a sunroof? And there's your option.
I think they all come with sunroofs.
So
actually.
if for 23, the Corolla top of the line hatch was the hatchback GR Corolla GTS for just under 60.
Jesus.
Wow.
So that's a lot of fucking money.
That was a budget car. That was just 100% budget car.
And you look at, so you got the Audi RS3, which used to be a hatch. It's a sedan now. It's 62. So.
But that's
I mean, James hit it on the head. I mean, average price 48, and that's going from the cheapest car you can buy.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're throwing Lamborghinis in there neither.
No.
I mean, no. That's an average. My 4Runner was $68,000. My van was $50,000 for a crew high roof. Let's face it, a work van. There's not these prices are the days of a $20,000 car. I know we touched on this 5-6 episodes in.
Yeah.
We're gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think there's good value on that Civic Type R. If my daughter really, really wants one, but she doesn't need another car.
So
I would drive it. I mean, John
would
Cena,
too.
who's a big car guy. John Cena, he's
Oh,
on
yeah.
his like second or third. That's his daily driver.
That
He
does
takes
not
it everywhere.
impress me. But I think that my perspective, again, I haven't owned a true Honda ever. My mom did, but I had that Acura ILX, which is a Honda Civic, right?
Sure.
And I cannot fathom paying anything remotely close to $50,000 for that car.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now that's not the same type of engine or suspension performance level. I get it, but I don't think they're going to change that dash from that shitty plastic to leather in this thing, right? Like,
No, but it wasn't
Yeah.
shitty plastic. I had a 01 Type R back in
my
01.
ILX was shitty plastic. It was fucking garbage.
I think I remember paying $25,000 for that car out the door, and I can tell you, I drove that car to Indiana so many times and back, and it was a good car. Other than after about 80,000 miles, it started, blowing oil just because of the high rev.
Yeah,
and
the revs
at that
on the
time, I was
interstate.
23 years old, just beating the balls off of it, and it had nitrous on it, and the big speaker and all that crap. But the quality was definitely there. I mean, I ran nitrous through that car, and I think I put 80,000 miles on it, and I sold that car for $18,000 after 5 years of ownership. So.
Yeah, I believe that. I am just not able to wrap my mind around. Maybe if I go sit in it and drive it one time, that my mind could be swayed.
It's because you're 40 now and you just don't see the value in a Honda Civic.
Maybe. Porsche.
You have different tastes at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what I would spend 50 grand on, and that's this bad boy right here. So they have finally decided, supposedly, that they're going to make the Hyundai Vision N. That was a concept, the Vision 74, and I think this thing's just badass. I love the styling of this thing.
Except that you need a fucking hydrogen gas pump.
I know it. In that set, I don't know that it's actually going to make it to production with the hydrogen.
It can't.
That's what they say.
Where the fuck can you get that?
California.
Oh,
even California's abandoning hydrogen. They're shutting down hydrogen stations left and right.
What happened to the good old days of propane cars that you could just go to the propane, fill up the car, and it was
go to Home Depot.
The cylinders were great. I mean, those cars, they stunk, but I mean,
back in the 90s, I had a friend of mine who had a Jeep Wrangler, and her boyfriend had converted it to propane. And that was the craziest thing in the world, man. Driving
awesome.
the damn Wrangler with freaking running off propane.
A friend of mine, not a friend of mine, I should say, a friend of the owners of the restaurant that I worked for would come by about once every 2 weeks as we change out the oil in the fryer and pick up the 5-gallon buckets of fryer oil, and he'd run that.
That's freaking
what
crazy.
do they call it?
Yeah,
Biodiesel or some bullshit?
I get Cybertruck vibes from this.
So, but in a good way. This actually has, in my opinion, nice styling. The Cybertruck doesn't. I mean, I just think this is this. I just like the styling
vibes.
I get DeLorean
that as well
vibes for sure.
Yep.
Like DeLorean race car. But at least
I also
it's got
get
some curvature.
Honda Type R vibes too, where they just glue on every freaking vent they can.
Functioning or not.
Yeah.
It's on the car.
It needs a vent.
Or those little, as I pass like a Honda Civic or a Subaru, it's got like every like rear window spoiler.
Keep on going up
thing
on your thing. Is that a 914?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're listening to you.
Yeah, they're listening to me. This is that's the Tuttle version of their
nice
914.
Put a Cayman engine in it?
Hey,
that's
here's
probably what the... Yeah,
here's a question for you, Matt.
Yeah.
Would you do a Boxer?
So, funny
Everyone's
thing is,
buying Boxers right now.
right?
Yeah, they're coming out with some cool.
All the
body kits.
YouTubers are buying Boxers, saying, "Oh, this is a great car." Would you do a Boxer?
Yeah, probably so.
I think they're good cars, and I've been, my wife is not willing to learn how to drive a manual, but I've been looking at buying a PDK version.
Yeah.
It's a good car.
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
Oh,
with
so you're
Boxer.
going to get a new 2014 and up.
No, 2009.
Oh, they made okay PDK.
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah, I would get a Boxer. I'd rock that. But I something about the 914 speaks to me. I don't know why.
It does.
It's definitely not the money. Honestly, it's to get a decent one. It's more expensive than getting a Boxster. You can get a Boxster for freaking $12,000. I mean,
Thank you for saying it correctly, James. Why do you say Boxster? It's a Boxster. There's a T in it.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay. But speaking of Boxsters, I saw a 914 Resto Mod yesterday for sale, and it was like $22,000, but they put in a Subaru WRX Boxster engine, turbo engine in it.
Yeah, they used to do that with Volkswagens.
Yeah, they put a flat 4 turbo in it.
I don't know about that. If you do the like Spider replicas, who's that by? I can't think of the freaking name right now. But I don't say again.
Gunther Works?
No. It's a smaller company that does the body, and then you put a Subaru engine in it.
Yeah, kind of like Factory 5 does with the Shelbys, but it's not Factory 5.
Hoovy did one.
Right.
And did a basic like 2-liter Boxster engine in it, but I would do something better. But I don't know if I could put a Subi in a real Porsche.
That'd be tough.
Those shit motors.
No, I could. No,
hey,
I
James,
wouldn't.
have you gotten any new records lately?
New records?
But did you like that episode, Kevin?
I thought it was a great episode, James. Thank you.
It was. We had a good time. Sorry you guys missed it.
Yeah. Did you guys?
Yep.
I hate you all.
Did you see the article about Tag doing the Carrera Porsche 963 watch?
I did. I don't know why they're calling it the 963, but I did see the article. Actually, I was just looking at it because the styling dates back to the 50s, and the 963 is not from the 50s. So I'm not quite sure why they're calling it 963, but I like the styling of it.
Do you?
They're trying to get Porsche people like us to jump on it. Not for 10 fucking K.
I don't love the styling, but I like it. I don't hate it. I do like how the Porsche name is inset into the side.
It looks like a Porsche Design watch. The one that they sell for, I don't know.
Less than that.
No, I think it's actually more expensive, actually.
Yeah, Porsche Designs really come up in price. They're really, Well, they got to pay for that new shop, that new
a lot of collectors are going after those.
Oh, the Porsche Design or
the Porsche? Where I always thought those were discounted. Like whatever. It's all it's a watch designed by Porsche.
Brand.
Who gives a shit? Yeah, fashion. And now it seems like they're going up in price and they're now quite desirable.
Well,
and they never did it for me.
And they still don't.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they do it for me either, but they're doing the right thing, air quotes there, in moving their design center headquarters and, whatever production facility to Gretchen,
Switzerland.
But I don't know, man. I can't. Like, there's no history there. I know they've been producing these things for an extended period of time, but they're not really unique outside of the name. And I'm not really sure what the real purpose to move the Porsche Design headquarters to Gretchen is to produce what's going to be a more expensive watch.
That's exactly, you just hit it on the head, to produce a more expensive watch. So
I think it's just the cachet.
Switzerland. Yep.
I think a lot of people don't take them seriously. And I think they're very cognizant of that fact that people don't take them seriously.
Well, their name is Porsche Design.
Right.
It's a fucking stupid ass name to start with. And if you're just making like a chronograph watch,
tell us how you really feel.
Yeah,
I just did. But a chronograph watch just with the Porsche, name on it, then drop the design thing and merge it with the true Porsche brand.
Well, I think it's
Design.
Two separate companies, though.
It is, but to Casey's point, you're not going out and buying Tag Heuer shoes, or you're not buying Tag Heuer pants. You're not buying a Tag Heuer umbrella. But Porsche Design does all of that. Like you can buy a Porsche designed umbrella, or you can buy Porsche designed shoes and clothing. And so
Ferrari does the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we know Ferrari people are weird.
But it's the whole experience, right?
It is.
It's the whole, I'm completely aligned with the brand, and I'm fully on board type of thing, which it's all good. It's fine.
Porsche Design has some. Not everything, but they have some watches that I genuinely like. I wouldn't pay the money for them.
I remember you used to be able to go to Ross and TJ Maxx and buy that shit. Not anymore.
Yeah.
So
no, but again, I think they're cognizant of the people not taking them seriously, and so if they want to play with the big boys, they need a factory in the big boy land, which is Switzerland. So that's
but this is my problem. Porsche Design. All right, I'm looking on the website right now. They got a cool looking hat. All right, it's $55 for a trucker hat. Yeah. They've got a nice looking hoodie here. It's $215.
Hey, Casey, that's no different than Balenciaga, Supreme.
Yeah.
I need to make more money, obviously.
No, it's just, I mean, what's the other period correct? I mean, hell, my daughter went and bought a $60 shirt when we were out, James, at Ren Sport.
Monterey.
Yeah. And she loves that shirt. And I'm like, it's a $12 t-shirt all day long. Same quality. But they say, now, I would say I buy shirts too, and you can buy a 100% American cotton shirt, and it's $30 wholesale. Or I can buy this that's just as nice and thick, but it's Honduras, and it's I don't know $6-7 or something like that. So
I would have wagered Bangladesh, but okay, we'll go with Honduras. I know. I think it's part of the experience. What I mean by that is that if you're going to go.
When you say experience, do you really mean?
No, so for instance, I'm not going to go online. I'm not going to go online and to Porsche Design's website and spend $75 or $80 for a polo or $50 for a t-shirt. I'm not going to do that.
Well, I feel like polo shirts are that much.
But if we are together as a group, which we're going to be at the PEC Center in Atlanta, all right, and we're spending the day together, and then we go by the gift shop and they have that same shirt sitting there $50, I'm going to buy it because it's going to.
It won't be 50.
It won't be $50.
Right. It'll probably be 65.
It won't be 50.
And you know what? I will punch you in your face if you buy anything from there, because me and James went there and we did not buy shit.
There was nothing. There was
nothing there. We did.
We tried to spend hundreds of dollars there.
Yes.
And everything was off. Just off.
Really?
They were so close to making it perfect.
Yep.
But it was so off in such a manner that you wouldn't want to wear it.
And let me take this stupidity just slightly further. So I'm still on the Porsche Design website. You can buy a 911 rear deck lid. This would be from say a 60s Porsche for $6,500. Or you could go on eBay and buy the same thing for like maybe $1,000
or $80
or that's actually real.
Yeah.
And came off of a vehicle. This is just some repop. This is the type of stupidity that pisses me off.
Yeah.
And I get frustrated that to me invalidates the whole thing rather than.
But what's the stupidity part? Is it the buyer or it's not them hitting a target audience that is
I want to know what's the stupidity
aching
part
for this
too,
stuff, right?
Is it the buyer like James said, or is it the clothing of the company?
I think you're probably right in redirecting it that it's the buyer and not them, because they're just creating what they think someone will buy. And if somebody pays them $6,500 for a fucking repop engine lid, then you're right. Then they won.
Hate the player, not the game.
Yeah. You're 100% right.
I think we have a saying for that, and it's called "ate up like a soup sandwich." So that is what I use in my family, and it's no different than the Corvette guys showing up. And let's face it, us four and most of our, I would say all of our group, James, all of your friends, none of us, out of the hundreds of people that we know that ride around, none of us show up, and there's not one person there wearing all the Porsche gear. We just aren't like that. And I don't think I think Porsche Design is going after that crowd, which you will see at the PCA tent.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's
you're right.
who they're going for.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
Yep. You're right.
Yep. I mean, I don't own any other than I have. Okay.
Well, that's the thing. How many? Well, here's my question, Matt. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
How many of us have the actual legitimate Porsche keychain, leather keychain, right?
No.
We all buy them from Amazon for $12 right from China.
I didn't. I got mine free when I bought the car.
So I'm not buying an $80 piece of leather that I can get the exact same thing for $12.
Porsche Maitland gave me mine when I bought the car. There's only really I have one.
And then you got Kevin making his own shirts.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I have Porsche T-shirts, but every single one came from Asphalt Killers. I mean, it's not a Porsche, from the website.
No,
I do own a Porsche Motorsports hat that I bought on Amazon.
Wow.
So I don't know if
every one of you is getting Porsche driver's gloves from me for Christmas.
Oh, I love it.
The only thing,
I like the Puma, some of the Puma stuff that they have.
I like
the Puma stuff. It's geared toward a different audience, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So the Porsche Design stuff is for
PCA.
the vineyard crowd with their 992 Targa, right? And their shaver, shifter, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But the Puma crowd is, they're targeting people who want to aspire to own the Porsche or have their first Porsche, and they're going to become brand loyalists. Get them young.
Yeah, give me those people any day. The only thing on this site that I think I would buy are the thermos, the coffee cups.
I like some of their shoes. I think their shoes are pretty unique.
No, the Puma things you can get not.
Puma stuff is good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm saying the Porsche Design. Some of their loafers and some of their shoes, I actually do like them, and I find myself on eBay again, like James says. Find myself on eBay looking for them, but you can never get them on your size, or they always, But Matt, you will not buy anything at PCA, and you're going to find out why when we go at the Porsche Experience.
No, I got you.
You're
going to want to. Trust me.
Oh. And we're going to go back too. We are going to be like, let's see if we can find something.
Yes, just one thing.
Yes,
I have one Porsche Polo, and it's a PCA one. It's not even that I bought at Works Reunion.
And by the way, they're all in Euro sizes, so if you that's the problem.
So I'll still be a triple X.
That's why Matt's been working so hard.
Yeah, I'll still be a triple X because all the sizes are small.
No, that's the thing. They're not going to have it. They're going to the one size that you want. Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh no,
we can get that. We can get that to you direct from Germany in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but Kevin gave me a great idea though. So when we get to fair, and I'm gonna get out of the car, and I'm gonna have on the Porsche shoes and the Porsche pants and the Porsche shirt with a Porsche jacket and a Porsche hat. I'm gonna do that.
That's your 914 right there. You just
I just bought the 914 exactly. Yeah. No, because I'll make that shit myself.
We're gonna guilt you into getting that, just like the iPhone. You're gonna have that 914 pretty soon.
Just like James guilted me into buying a freaking air cooled. I mean, so.
And now he's got two.
I know. Well, the funny thing is, I was looking. Last night. I was comparing to see, okay, what parts on the 914 is comparable with parts in the G body and everything. I was looking to see what parts are comparable, and they're not. They're not.
No, you look at the seats.
I still remember that conversation, James. And no, Kevin, you got to get it. You got to get it. And just show him. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea, man. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
They're great. They're awesome. They're awesome. Look, and that that's the beauty is because I can get in that 912 and like Dave, he'll say like, I don't get this car. Why would you drive this car? But it's a completely. I didn't get the car to go fast. I get the car to go fast with a momentum car with low, just no horsepower. I've got the horsepower cars, right? But it's just a completely different experience. And I'm sure that 914 is just as fun, as engaging, go-kart like.
Yeah, I mean,
it just doesn't have the grunt.
It started with a 1.7, which if you take the 6 out of it, you can't afford the 3-liter 6. It's forget it. They're like $100,000. Forget it.
Rare.
But the 1.7 put out a whopping 80 horsepower. Then it went to a 1.8 I think it's like 93 horsepower. They topped out the 2-liter was like 115, but you can stroke those out at 2.7. I mean, but the car only weighs 2,100 pounds. It's light as fuck.
Fortunately for you, I happen to know a guy that's probably one of the world's best in building those engines.
Right.
So get you.
We saw those prices. We've been eyeballing those. Me and James have been eyeballing those.
Yeah, they ain't cheap.
Yeah.
But I tell you, it's good. But you know what is also good?
What's that?
Or used to be good, or really wasn't good as the original, is the Grand Tour. And I think it's a shame that they're going to try to do this again, just like they did with the OG show, and change the host and think that it's going to continue.
It's going to fail.
It always does.
So elaborate, Casey, for the audience.
What was their original show called? I can't even think of it. Top Gear. With James May and the crew, and which I enjoyed. I watched so many old episodes, but now they're on
Jeremy Clarkson and Richard Hammond.
Yeah, the real dudes. But now it moved to Amazon, I don't even know how many years ago, under a new name, the Grand Tour. They did the same basic stupid stuff, testing cars, pushing them to their limits.
Just not as fun.
Thing. It wasn't quite as good as the original, but it was still, it was still watchable on the occasion. I can't say that I ever watched it near as much as I watched the original. But now they're going to try to do the same thing of changing the host. As Jeremy probably goes and works on his farm, and James May sells his gin, and I don't know what the other dude's doing. He's
plays with horses,
selling cars.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Cars, yeah.
So they've been doing this shit a long time, and they're goofy when they're all together, and I enjoy how they interact together. But the secondary shows are just hot garbage, and it's a shame that they're going to try to do it again. It's okay.
They've had their
let
spots.
things end.
Yeah.
Let it end. Let it be a thing.
You can't. We're going to be on we're going on 20 years of Marvel movies. It's nothing ends.
Yeah. It's just stupid. Just
it's a tried and true idea, and they will continually tinker with it until there's another hit out of it.
Right. Here's the problem.
It comes down to the hosts and the chemistry, and they just haven't been able to find that. Mm-hmm. And it seems like the original one was a more organic thing, and it wasn't forced, right? So now you're trying to identify, okay, you're going to be the James May guy.
Yes.
Yep. So you hit the nail on the head.
Four guys being friends, doing their thing.
Right.
Now it's going to be we need James. You need to be the James May guy. Kevin, you need to be this person. Casey.
Yeah.
Now they're being actors.
So they have Amazon's a global platform. And those three guys have a global audience. And they're probably going to run into, like, for instance, when they did the American version of Top Gear, they've had a couple different iterations of it. I thoroughly enjoyed the one that had Tanner Fouts and Rutledge. It was fun. And I like the chemistry with those guys. Yeah. If they put those guys in a Grand Tour show, whether they call it Grand Tour or not, I would watch it. But that's me. Globally, nobody else knows those guys.
Right, but they're fitting them into a mold.
Correct.
And not allowing them to explore new ideas.
That's just media, though. I mean, look, how many episodes...
Really, to take the whole genre and move it in a different direction, right?
I hope they don't put in Americans in it, because I think that's one of the reasons why Amazon, and we all watched it, as because of the accent. And regardless of...
And their dry sense of humor.
Yeah, and how, a lot of their verbiage and stuff like that. But why isn't F1 or IMSA, why does it always have an English person? Because we like the sound of that in our ear. Hopefully they won't put...
MotoGP does the same thing.
Yeah. Hopefully they won't put Americans in it, and they'll put, somebody that we don't know, because nobody knew who these people were.
Right.
Before.
No. Yeah.
Right. I think America made them even more, because there's more Americans watching TV than English people. Plus, we didn't have those cars here. A lot of those cars we didn't have. And I tend to, like, me personally, I watch a lot of English TV, not like humor TV, but I do tend to. And even I used to have a business partner that was France, and this guy would talk, and everybody would listen just because of his Parisian accent. Mm-hmm. So
I watch darts. That's what I watch.
People tend to forget. Well, people may not know. Those guys were not the beginning of Top Gear. They were like the second. I think they were actually almost the third set of hosts.
I think it was the third generation.
Yes. So the original Top Gear, they're like the second or third. It just so happened that they finally. And if you watch the original, like season 1 of Top Gear, it's very formulaic. I mean, it's you remember it's not Gear? Great. And Fifth Gear was a spinoff. And actually, one of the hosts of the original Top Gear left, and he went, and that's where Fifth Gear came from. So yeah, they're not the original, but they had a chemistry. that it just evolved and people got to know them or the TV version of them and enjoyed it. And it just,
well, part of the appeal was they just looked like normal dudes that liked cars, just like they looked like everybody else.
And I think a lot of it is, I like all three of the guys from what I know. I don't know them personally, but Clarkson, he just has that fuck it attitude that it just always just worked well. It just worked well on TV. You enjoyed watching it. You enjoyed knowing the fact that, typically when you watch a car review, 90% of the time, they're going to say good things about the car. And with him, you never know if he's going to like it or not.
Well,
and so,
they've established how it's done. Matt Farah does the same thing. Camisa does the same thing. They've established a formula, and that's what's
the formula that
done.
works. Yeah.
Until somebody else breaks that mold and does something fresh. And rebooting the Grand Tour is not fresh.
No.
And on that note,
exactly. On that bombshell. So, but the Grand Tour was just a rehashed Top Gear anyway. I mean, it was the same thing with a new name for licensing. But yes, on that bombshell, that's our evening. Guys, thanks for listening. Hit up us on the website, whiskeywatchingwheels.com, Instagram, head over there, and we will catch you guys next week. Peace out, guys.
Roll the Top Gear music at the end.